truth is, if you just think about the street where you live, think about your neighbors, the people that live around you. If you were to ask them that question, what does it really look like for a person to follow Jesus? You would get as many different answers as you have different neighbors, wouldn't you? Now, they might be similar, they might kind of group together, but they would all be different. Probably, if we just polled each other, they would all be different. What's it look like to really follow Jesus? We would give some similar answers, but hundreds of different people, hundreds of different answers. Even if they grouped together, and I bet they would group together, and I bet our answers, a lot of them would group together with our neighbors' answers to the question, what does it really look like to follow Jesus? And I bet if we grouped them together, they would group in a couple of buckets. I bet there would be a show-up bucket, and I bet there would be a shape-up bucket. And some of you are thinking there's probably a pay-up bucket as well. What does it really look like to follow Jesus? Well, some of us and some of our neighbors would say it's probably about showing up somehow. Like there's an event, there's a meeting, there's a moment that everybody's supposed to show up to in a place, maybe like this. What does it really look like to follow Jesus? You show up on Sunday morning to a place and do a thing. Or maybe it's not Sunday morning. Maybe it's Encounter. Maybe it's BSF. Maybe it's a community group. Maybe it's Young Life. You show up to something. That's what it really looks like to follow Jesus. Some of us would not think about showing up as much as we would think about shaping up. There's a specific set of behaviors that it looks like when a person's really following Jesus. Things they do, things they would never do. There's a way that they dress. There's a way that they vote. Perhaps there's a way that they cut their hair. What's it really look like to follow Jesus? Some of us would say show up. Some of us would say shape up. But I wonder if we could go back to the very beginning. If we could answer the question maybe without the baggage that some of us have, without the weird neighbor that we know. I wonder if we could go back without any kind of history, without TV comb-overs. If we could answer the question, what does it really look like to follow Jesus? The way Jesus thought it looked to really follow him. Now, that's the question we want to try to ask and answer over the next 4 weeks together. We're going to be in the book of Mark. There are 4 times in the book of Mark that Jesus extends an explicit invitation, sometimes to a person, sometimes to a group of people, to follow him. And hopefully by the time we're done, we'll have a sense of what it looks like, who it's for, why we should, and how it would look for us in the place where we are to follow him wherever he's going.